Welcome or welcome back to Info Vault. In today's video, we will cover the Luigi Mangione case, better known as the CEO murderer caught in McDonald's. It was December 4th, 2024. In Midtown Manhattan, the CEO of a major company, United Healthcare, was walking toward a meeting when tragedy struck. The man's name, Brian Thompson. The suspect, Luigi Mangione. What seemed like a routine trip became the center of one of the most shocking crime stories in recent memory. A manhunt, a dramatic arrest in a McDonald's, and allegations of a manifesto decrying the health insurance industry. Today, you'll hear not just what happened, but every clue, twist, and the law's unfolding response. 1. Who are the players? Brian Thompson was not a random target. As CEO of United Healthcare, he was at the top of one of the largest health insurance companies in America. He had influence, power, and enemies. Luigi Nicholas Mangione, born in 1998 from Tucson, Maryland, held an Ivy League education, University of Pennsylvania. Quiet, ambitious, seemingly unremarkable. Yet, over time, prosecutors allege he harbored deep resentment toward the healthcare industry. The motive, prosecutors say, wasn't personal gain. It was ideological. According to filings, Mangione viewed the health insurance system as a parasitic industry and believed targeting a CEO would send a message. 2. Prelude to the crime: surveillance and stalking. The night before the shooting, Mangione was spotted near the Hilton Hotel in Midtown, reportedly following Thompson's movements. Prosecutors claim he even considered a different target before settling on Thompson. Inside a red notebook, allegedly Mangione's diary, they say they found unambiguous evidence of motive, references criticizing healthcare, targeting parasitic corporations, and describing intended actions. He traveled to New York by bus from Atlanta, so detectives believe the crime was planned, not random. 3. The shooting. Around 6:44 a.m. on December 4th, 2024, outside the Hilton Midtown Hotel in Manhattan, surveillance captured the moment Thompson was ambushed from behind. Thompson was shot in the leg and back. Minutes later, in the chaos, the suspect fled. Investigators quickly released images of a masked man in a hooded jacket. One photograph showed him at a Starbucks nearby. Another showed him in the back of a taxi wearing a mask, but with a face that could be glimpsed. They also tracked his path on foot through Central Park and up Manhattan, using video from multiple cameras. They found a discarded backpack in a wooded area, suspected to belong to the assailant. Inside, evidence that hinted at his plan. 4. The manhunt and arrest. For 5 days, law enforcement from New York, Pennsylvania, federal and state agencies worked together. They released surveillance photos, called on the public for tips, and kept pressure. Then, on December 9th, 2024, in Altoona, Pennsylvania, at a McDonald's, Mangione was arrested. An employee recognized him from released images and alerted police. When authorities approached, they say Mangione was visibly shaken. Upon searching him, they found a 3D printed pistol and 3D printed suppressor matching the ballistic evidence from the shooting. Fake IDs. One was a New Jersey license under the alias Mark Rosario, the same alias used to check into a Manhattan hostel earlier. A 262-word handwritten document or manifesto criticizing health insurance companies. Fingerprints matching partial prints found near the crime scene, and shell casings consistent with his firearm. He waived extradition from Pennsylvania and was transferred to New York to face state and federal charges. 5. Charges and legal battle. Once in New York, prosecutors brought serious charges: state charges, first-degree murder, multiple weapons-related counts, and murder as a crime of terrorism. Federal indictments: 4 counts, including murder, stalking, and using a firearm with a suppressor across state lines. 6. Some developments since then. In September 2025, a judge dismissed the state-level terrorism charges first and second-degree murder as acts of terrorism, saying the evidence did not legally support them. The judge, Gregory Caro, kept the standard murder and weapons charges intact. In federal court, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for Mangione. Mangione was granted permission to use a laptop in federal custody, under strict conditions, to review discovery materials. Defense attorneys are also pushing arguments about double jeopardy, federal versus state overlapping cases, and asking for dismissal or motion hearings. Further, the Justice Department has been warned by a judge about making public remarks about the case to protect Mangione's right to a fair trial. 7. Possible theories and questions. Even with evidence and arrest, many questions remain unanswered. Was this purely ideological, or did Mangione plan to gain notoriety? Did he have co-conspirators? So far, none have been publicly confirmed. Why target this CEO? Was it because of perceived grievances in the health insurance industry? The manifesto suggests as much. Was the use of a ghost gun and suppressor meant to show sophistication or to avoid detection? How much of this was planned versus spontaneous? 8. Update. Where he is now. 2025 status. As of late 2025, Mangione is in federal custody in New York, awaiting trial in the United States District Court. The state case in New York continues with standard murder and weapons charges, but the terrorism charges have been dropped by a judge. Prosecutors are pushing to use the death penalty in the federal case. The defense is challenging overlap between federal and state prosecutions, pushing for dismissal or motions on double jeopardy grounds. Judges have rebuked certain government officials for public statements about the case, demanding these remarks stop to preserve his right to fair trial. Also, Mangione was recently ordered to appear in a Pennsylvania court for separate gun-related charges filed there, example, possession without license, despite being held elsewhere. So, while the trial hasn't happened yet, there's movement. Some charges dropped, some pursued, and legal battles unfolding. And that's the full story so far. The chilling details, the arrest in a McDonald's, the legal saga unfolding, and still more questions than answers. What do you think? Was Mangione a lone actor or part of something bigger? Will he face execution or life in prison? Tell me in the comments. If you found this deep dive interesting, like the video, subscribe to InfoVault, and hit the bell so you catch every update as the case develops. Thanks for tuning in today's mystery. Until next time.